You know, when CM Punk made his return to WWE at Survivor Series last year, I thought the days of talking about CM Punk and AEW, and hell, if I remember correctly, I think I said something similar to this was when CM Punk was finally fired by AEW. I didn't think we were ever going to talk about Phil Brooks and All Elite Wrestling. Well, lo and behold, it's WrestleMania week, and he goes on the MMA Hour, and Ariel Helwani, journalist on his show, well, he has to ask certain questions. And CM Punk, being the figure of interest, person of interest in this case, well, he gave certain answers. And again, it's a 2-hour interview. I'm not gonna try to mention everything that he said, because he said a lot of things in terms of how his WWE return came to be, how he got hired by WWE, both for Backstage, the Fox show, and back for Survivor Series last year. He got into Vince McMahon allegations and all of that as well. So it's a pretty damn entertaining interview. It's a pretty damn insightful interview. But basically, the best part, at least for me, was diving into what transpired with Phil Brooks in All Elite Wrestling. And as far as All in London of last year, August of last year, he did give his version of what transpired in Wembley Arena. But again, before I say anything, and I'm not even going to touch upon that subject that much, because there are two sides to every story, and unless Tony Khan and Jack Perry decide to speak out on that situation and tell their version of what happened, then you can't really get a true objective. You can't really get you can't really come to a clear conclusion of what transpired that night, because CM Punk didn't do it by himself. There was other people involved. So, with that said, I want to touch upon a very insightful version of how CM Punk sees Tony Khan run his business. In this case, AEW. He said that AEW is going to be around for as long as Tony Khan wants to pump money into AEW, which isn't wrong, but how would I say it? It isn't the wrong thing to say, and it isn't a wrong thing to do. Because Ted Turner did that for WCW, Dixie Carter did that for TNA, Vince McMahon did it for WWE before the company went public. So there's nothing wrong with that. He did mention that they're in a very, very different business compared to WWE, and it's something that I've been mentioning for the past year and a half, almost 2 years, in terms of how Tony Khan books his shows. Because I'll give Tony Khan this, he's great at putting on dream matches and hiring all this talent. He has a lot of talent on the roster. It's a bloated roster. And he knows exactly what the IWC, what the niche fan wants in terms of dream matches. Like, you ask the casual fan who Shibata is, nobody knows who that is. But wrestling fans, we want to watch Shibata against Danielson. We want to watch Shibata against Ospreay. We want to watch Ospreay versus Bryan Danielson. But Punk did mention that it appears Tony Khan caters to that audience a little bit too much. It appears Tony Khan caters to a certain individual who Punk called the Goof, and who I can only assume is Dave Meltzer, because he mentioned the 5-star ratings, which is infamous from him, instead of drawing a gate. Which, again, night and day in terms of how both companies run their business, because WWE is gate, publicity, revenue, everything, all that first, then we get the matches. The matches come because of that, instead of the other way around. And there's nothing wrong with putting on great matches. But I mean, if the same pro wrestling fans that are, for lack of a better term, worshiping Tony Khan on social media at this moment in time, if they're doing that because of the matches that they're able to put on, then they were criticizing them. They were criticizing Dixie Carter back in the day because they felt TNA wrestling was just a vanity project for her. Again, night and day. And again, I'm a fan of AEW. I've been watching AEW since 2019, since it was founded. I really want it to succeed. I keep watching it week in and week out because it's damn good pro wrestling. They've got the talent. They've got the talent that deserves so much better. They deserve an actual creative booker to give them characters, storylines, substance to bring fans in and keep fans engaged, viewership engaged, and grow viewership. But Tony Khan doesn't want to hire anyone. Go figure. CM Punk mentioned that Tony Khan is too nice of a guy to be the boss. He doesn't want to be the boss. He didn't want to handle the situations he had in the past in terms of dealing with Hangman Adam Page, dealing with the brawl-out situation for which he had to sign an NDA. He confirmed that. And most recently, the incident with Jack Perry. Tony Khan did not want to sign that, allegedly, according to CM Punk in this interview. Which, again, I'm not surprised by. Because with all due respect, and yes, I am a pro wrestling fan, he's a boss. He's an executive. He's an owner. He's a multi-millionaire. Okay? He needs to stop it with the social media antics. He needs to stop, for lack of a better term, marking out whenever he signs a brand new professional wrestler and hugging them and being this nice guy. If you're the boss, you're not a nice guy. Your business comes first. That's not the case with AEW. That's not the case with AEW. I'm sorry. They've got fantastic guys leading the charge right now. Bryan Danielson, Adam Copeland, Christian Cage, Jon Moxley when he comes back. They love being in there in AEW. But it is what it is. Again, there's a reason why WWE is number one. There's a reason why WWE is the leader when it comes to sports entertainment. And nobody else can compete or come close to WWE in that case. Or in that industry in that manner. Most of you will call me a fed head or a shill or whatever that I'm only looking for WWE. Look, it is what it is. They set the standard decades ago. There's a reason why the only time in 40 plus years, 50 plus years that they've been losing or they've been the number 2 pro wrestling company in the world, it only lasted 87 weeks, less than 2 years. Other than that, WWE has been leading this industry no matter what. Again, toxic fandom, blindly following, again, like Bully Ray said on social media, sheep. I'm sorry. It is what it is. Other than that, again, I do recommend going and watch that 2-hour interview with CM Punk and Ariel Helwani on the MMA Hour. Insightful, entertaining as hell. It's amazing to hear him talk. And again, the whole thing about going into business for yourself, I don't like. I don't like it for any individual, especially when it comes to companies, especially when it comes to businesses that involve hundreds, if not thousands of people. Just like I don't like it when CM Punk did that with AEW years ago. I don't like it right now when Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins are going out there and saying that, they're pissed because they weren't notified that CM Punk was returning to the company. Well, here's the thing. It's not your company. Like CM Punk said on this interview, it's not your company. All right? As simple as that. You're a top player. And again, WWE is the end-all, be-all, because we've seen them lose so many top stars, the biggest stars in the business, and the company keeps rolling. TNA loses stars. WCW loses stars. AEW loses stars. Their business dramatically and drastically goes down. And that's just proof that if you want to go into business for yourself in WWE, it's not going to work. Because that's not how they run their business. As simple as that. Again. So I'm going to leave this video saying this. Just WWE and AEW are not competing against each other. They can never be competing against each other. Because one aims to draw money, gain viewership, gain revenue, all of that. The other one, apparently, I've said this before. Now CM Punk has confirmed it via his interview. If you want to take his word for it, they book for a small niche of pro wrestling fans, and they're content with that. And if you're content with that, keep watching. I'm gonna keep watching because I'm a wrestling fan, and I would love for it to grow. But the only pro wrestling company right now that's drawing any kind of money, any kind of good business, is WWE. As simple as that. So with that said, what are your thoughts on the CM Punk interview on the MMA Hour with Ariel Helwani? Did you enjoy it? Do you think it was insightful? What shocked you the most about his commentary on what transpired with AEW and how he got back to WWE? All of that. Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions in the comment section below. With that said, I'm Alexis Carrillo. This has been Wrestling Talk, and I'll see you next time.